I am inviting Dr. D.N. Sansanwal, sir, for today's lecture. Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Dear friends, before I start my today's lecture, if there is any question which you want to ask, please you can put your question in the chat box. I will see and I will try to answer. If there is no question, then I proceed further. I'm just waiting for another 1 minute. If you are listening to me, so if you want to ask any question related to whatever we have done, is there any difference between modification of tool and adaptation of tool? Both are same, nothing to worry about it. Because when you are modifying, then you are really adapting, modifying according to the situation. And adaptation, both are same, nothing to worry about it. Let me see what is the question here. What is the difference between theoretical and conceptual frame? Theoretical framework and conceptual framework are same. You can use theoretical framework or conceptual frame. Both are same. No difference. Okay, that how many pages we have to write? My dear friend, a thesis can never be judged by the number of pages. I'll give you example. There was a person, he did his PhD and he wrote the thesis in the 2 volumes. Remember, in the 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2, and it was rejected by the examiners because the examiner said that it is difficult to find even a single idea of the researcher in these 2 volumes. And in science, you know that the thesis might be of 80 pages, of 60 pages. So therefore, the thesis quality is never judged by the number of the pages. So do not bother about the number of pages. Bother about the content of each and every chapter that you are writing. The content of each and every caption under which you are writing. So that's what is more important. So therefore, there is no page limit. Difference I have said. Okay. All right. Any other one? I hope Sonia ji, you all are fine. Thank you very much being the part of this particular program. I see your name after a long time. Yesterday also I saw it. So thank you very much for joining. All right. Let us go ahead. So if there is any other question, you can ask me and I will try to reply. Now, after completing the first chapter, then the second chapter is let me take the second chapter on the next page. So chapter 2 is titled as Review of Related Researches. Please see, the second title cannot be Review of Researches because you have to only review those researches which are related to the variables which you have studied. So that is why the word related is very important. Now, in this one, the first, then 2.1.0 will be your introduction. And you know, in this introduction, you have to link the second chapter with the first chapter. So in the introduction, always you have to link between the first chapter and the second chapter. Now, in the first chapter, I told you that when you are writing the introduction, you know, so here, after you are this, then you have to write the rationale. Then you have to write the statement of problem. Statement of problem. Then you have to write your objectives. Then you have to write hypothesis. And then you have to write delimitation. But if you have also written your definition of some words, that also you can write. That's your choice. Now, when I go to the second chapter, then in the second chapter, I have to link it with the first chapter. Then I should talk like this. Then my opening sentence will be the rationale and the rationale along with objectives and hypothesis. The rationale along with objectives and hypothesis has been given in the previous chapter. Or you can say in chapter 1, the choice is yours. If you want to write in the previous, that's also all right. If you want to write chapter 1, that's also all right. It's given in the previous. Okay. Now in the present chapter, is devoted to the review of related literature. It has been presented under headings like, then you can give the headings under which you have classified all your researches, whatever you are doing. And if I take what we were writing, if you are doing strategies of stress management, then it is strategies of stress management. Strategies of stress. Because if your research is related to the stress and its management, then you can talk about the strategies of the stress management. It will be an experimental study. And if you have the gender and stress, okay, That may be another may be locale and stress. So whatever the classes under which the related literature can be classified, that's what you have to do it here. Now, once you do it here, then you say the information is given under separate captions. And now it is your 2.2.0. Now your first will be strategies of stress management. Now, I have already told you that how exactly you have to write the information here. When I was talking about the proposal writing, then I did tell you how exactly it has to be written. So I need not to repeat that. So you can write that. And once you have completed this, then you go to the second one, gender and stress. Once you have completed, then 2.3.0 will be gender and stress. Then you can, and then 2.4.0 will be the locale and stress. If these are the only headings under which you want to put your review of related literature, that's what you can do. After that, at the end, your 2.5.0 must be sum up. You have to sum up. And in sum up, if these are the three headings under which you have given your related literature, so for the strategies of stress management, you can sum up the findings of the researches here, and then you can write. So one paragraph you will write for the strategies of stress management. Under another paragraph, you can write the gist of the findings of researches related to gender and the stress, and the third this. Now, this is how you have to sum up. And the way you sum up, this is very important. And this sum up you will be using in your first chapter, because we are writing the review in the second chapter, but its gist or sum up is used in writing your rationale of the study. So let me see, what is the question? What is the meaning sometime no written below is word 1.2. Lobo, your question is not clear. What you want to ask? I'm sorry. Om Prakash, what is the best method of searching the studies related to the topic? You can search the Shodh Ganga is one. If you are in whatever is the subject, the Shodh Ganga is the one source which will help you. And if you belong to education area, then in education, there are different surveys of researches, and these are available online. If you log into the NCERT website, and in NCERT, if you log into CIET, I repeat, go to NCERT and then go to CIET, or you can directly log into CIET, and there you will find one icon, and where it is written review of researches. Okay, no, where it is written survey of researches. And then you can find out from there whatever the studies that you want. They have digitalized all the print material. The first survey has been digitalized, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all are digitalized. So you need not to bother about it. You can see it. All right. Another is, okay, what is the best method of searching studies? Education, I have told you. How to make appropriate review of related. Can you suggest some nice search engine? My dear friend Neetu Gupta, please, you have to search it using Google. And if you are not using Google, because Google can search the researches belonging to in your area. Otherwise, in India, you have the Shodh Ganga. So therefore, you can use the Shodh Ganga. Okay. Now, I will not be able to, I have given one, the Google. And in Google, you can go and type, and then you can get absolutely no problem at all. Okay. So let us now proceed further. Sir, please repeat the NCERT. Okay, let me write the NCERT. Don't worry about it. I'm writing the NCERT. You can log into CIET. Okay, so log into CIET. Log into CIET, or you can log into NCERT and then go to CIET, and there you will find the researches survey of researches in education. So this is how you can log into NCERT and you can find out this thing. Absolutely no problem. I hope it is all right. If there is any other question, let's say, what is the question? Is any other software other than meta-analysis for review? My dear friend, meta-analysis is not a technique to be used for reviewing your review of related. Please do not write review of literature. Start writing review of related literature. Because if you are writing review of literature, it is too vast. It is vague. So that is the one important thing you should do. Next is meta-analysis is a technique to analyze the qualitative data which you collect. So meta-analysis is not a technique to analyze your review of related literature. No. So I don't know from where you have got this thing. So Patil ji, I hope you have understood. So meta-analysis is a technique to analyze the qualitative data, the qualitative information. You cannot use it to analyze the review of related literature. All right, I hope you have understood it. So let us proceed now. Now, my dear friend, after the second chapter, what is the third chapter? So I am not giving you more information about the second chapter because I have already given. Meta-analysis is the I know that meta-analysis is the analysis of what? The findings. And that, my dear friend, it is not, you are not doing it in this. The meta-analysis is a very different techniques for which you have to have a objective. Okay, so then we go to the next one. The chapter 3. Chapter 3 is titled as methodology. Sometimes some of the people, they title it as plan and procedure, but that used to be the old way of writing the title. But now people do not write the plan and procedure, but they write methodology. So here, your first will be 3.1.0, and that is introduction. Now, in this introduction, you have to relate your third chapter with the second chapter. Okay? And therefore, and then you have to proceed further. And here you have to write like this: review of related literature has been given in detail in the previous chapter. The present chapter is devoted to the methodology followed in conducting the research. This has been given under headings like, now the methodology I am now telling you is when you have collected the data from the field. If you have not collected the data from the field, then this methodology chapter is a very different way of writing. If it is a philosophical research, then in the methodology there is nothing to be written, because there you are only referring to the original source, primary source. You are taking all information from the primary source. So if at all you are interested in writing, then it is only those books which you have referred, which you have read, or from where you have collected the information. If you want to give a list, you can give that particular list. Otherwise, methodology is more in detailed for your survey research and for your experimental research. Normally, the case study is never taken up for a PhD work, because the findings from the case study cannot be further used by the people in the field. So you cannot. So that is why I am now writing only for survey and experimental. So you have to write the sample. Then you have to write the tool. And if you conducted an experimental study, then you have to write experimental mental design. But if you have not conducted an experimental study, then you need not to write experimental design. So I am putting it a red. Red means only when it is applicable. And once you have done that, then procedure of data collection. And after that, it is the data analysis. Now then it is 3.2.0 will be your sample. Now when you are writing this sample, now this has to be written in the past tense because you have already collected the data, you have already analyzed it, now you are reporting it. So you have to talk about the population. Refer to the population. What was the population? Sir, could you please explain the methodology of literary? Okay, see, literary means if you are doing research in language, then in the methodology, you have not to write anything. Because you will be, if you are referring to a particular author, then you might be reading some of the books written by that particular author, and then you might be analyzing that. So the methodology chapter will not be there. Then which chapter will be there? That will be coming. I will tell you later on. Okay. So you have to write those who have the data from the field, then you have to write the population. What was the population? Then you have to write the sampling technique. The sampling technique which was used by the researcher for selecting the sample. That sampling technique you have to use. My dear friends, in many theses, especially in education, I have noticed that most of the researchers will be writing that the random sampling technique was used for selecting the sample. And if you look to the objective, then it is very clear and evident that random sampling technique is not the appropriate sampling technique which the candidate has used. So my dear friend, it's very important that you have to decide the sampling technique on the basis of the objectives which you have. And if you have to learn more about it, then of course, the Gupta is again arranging some of the lectures, especially related to the research methodology as well as the statistical technique and its interpretation. So if you like, you can join that. Then after that, you should write sample size. And then you should write the characteristics, the main characteristics of members of the sample. That's what you have to write. These informations you must write in detail. When you are giving the sample size, so you should write which institute you have gone to collect the information and how many you have collected from there. And you have to, if split that in terms of the gender and all that, then you have to write that. Once you have written this, then next is your tool. In science, you will be using an instrument, and when you are using instrument, sometimes you standardize. So therefore, then you need not to write the word tool. You should write the word instrument, and then you must describe the procedure of standardization, how exactly you have standardized it. Now, those people who do not belong to the science and they belong to the social science, they will write the tool. And in this particular tool, what they have to write is that how many variables did you have for which you have used a tool. If you have only one variable, that is the stress, then you only have to give information about the stress. But suppose if you have another variable like personality, then you have to give information about the tool which you used. Do we have to write detailed description and general features of the sampling technique? No. My dear friend, thesis is not a book. I have seen many of the people, they write different sampling techniques and they keep on describing non-probability sampling and probability sampling. Please do not write that, because that is to be written in a book. In your research, you only should write that information you should give which is relevant. If you want to write, you can write why did you use this particular sampling technique. If you have to give few arguments, you can give. If you are using stratified sampling, why stratified sampling? But please do not describe the different sampling techniques, because I have seen many people, they describe the different sampling techniques. That's not to be given. Okay. Now in the tool, so it depends upon, if you have only one tool to use, then fine, yes, one. But if you have more than one tool, because there are more variables, then you have to write that the variables assessed in this study were stress and suppose it is the reasoning. Okay, the details of tool used is given under different captions. The details of tools are given under different captions. Then you should say 3.3.1 and you have written stress. So just write the name of the variable, but not the tool. Now here, what you should do is that you must now tell what are the different tools available for assessing the stress. And when you are giving those tools, then you can say the tools available for assessing stress are as given in table 3.1, because this is the third chapter and this is the first table. So here you can insert the table. And when you are inserting the table, then you are writing the serial number, then you are writing the name of the tool, then you are writing name of the developer, then you are writing the age group for which it is meant, then you are writing the reliability of that particular tool. And let me add one more, and then you are writing the validity. So whatever the tool that you have seen, so you say the first tool and you give the detail, second tool, you give the detail, and your second tool and your third tool. If you have the 5 tools, then you write these 5 tools, and then you should say, out of these 5 tools, why did you select a particular tool? That you have to justify, and that you can justify immediately below the table. Now this type of table will not be required in science. I'm sure in science you don't have this, but if you feel in science, there are instruments for measuring the same variable. For example, weight. There is a digital weighing machine, and there is another weighing machine, manual weighing machine. So then you can, which one did you use and why did you use? You can write, no problem at all. Okay, what is the question? Now, is it ethnography or ethnobiological? I don't know. What did you write? Is it, Babita, is it ethnography or ethnobiological? If it ethnobiological, because I don't belong to biology, so I cannot answer. Please, can you name some tools of stress and reasoning? There are many tools of stress and reasoning, no problem at all. No, is it ethnography or ethnobiology? Babita, if it is ethnobiology, I don't know, because I don't belong to the biology, so I will not be able to tell you much about it. But I can tell that in biology, you must be using many tools. And these days, the tools are of different types. You know, when even the doctors are using more sensitive tools than what they were using earlier. So, well, that's what is all right. So here,
Actually, there is a power cut. We are working on this. Many guys were asking about database and survey of review researches. I would like to say every country has a database, a research database like Shodhganga. I will send you in a WhatsApp group soon. Today is night or tomorrow. And I would like to say with you, there are many facilities to search survey researches. You should use different types of search engines like Journ, like RepSeek, like Basefield, like Academia. I have sent all search engines link at WhatsApp group. And there are many catalogs of tools, Pearson, Arohi, National Psychology, Agra Psychology, and Arohi, Jabalpur, Anand, Pune. There are many psychological tools seller. And one guy was asking about methods and techniques in ethnobiology and ethnoecology. There is a book. It has published by Springer, editor Adel Booker, and Cruz da Cunha at 2014. I will send at WhatsApp group. And if you have some questions about tool seller, tool maker, and databases, and search engines, and article generator, article spinner, you can ask with me. If you have any questions, please send me at chat. Hello? Are you listening me? Suppose we take the article from Shodhganga. Suppose we take the article from Shodhganga, then how to write the reference? Actually, it is a specific style of writing of review researches. Then you have to learn this style. We will make a program on writing of review researches. It is a specific style. You have to learn. First of all, we write the name of research, then writer, then year, then publisher or thesis, then objectives, then hypothesis, then techniques, then results. It is brief of review. Another question. What is an article generator? It is a software who create an article. You think and you put in your opinion or your variable. Those generator, those software create a article. This is a advanced tool of research. Thank you, sir. Please, welcome, sir.
Sorry, my dear friends, because the power is not within my control. So the power went, and now we have, earlier we were on generator, now we have a power. So sorry, let us go ahead with it. Now, my dear friend, whatever I wrote today, that has gone. So do not worry about it. I'm now saying the chapter 3. Because I did not save, so therefore all has gone. So chapter 3 was, and you know what exactly you have to write under it. So it was 3.1.0. I have already written. I told you it is introduction. Then after that, it is 3.2.0 about sample. And then it was 3.3.0. This was about tool. And here I was talking about, if you have the two tools, then you have to give their information separately. Then it is 3.3.1. If it is stress is your tool, then you have to give information about that. And I was talking about that you can make one table, and in this particular table, you can write here, it is the serial number that you give. Then you can give the name of the tool, and then you can give name of developer, and then you can give the age of the target group. Then you can give the reliability coefficient, and then you can give the validity coefficient. Or you can give the reliability information and you can give the validity information. Perfectly correct. So I was telling you, if suppose you have the 5 tools, you have tool number 1, you have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you have given the details here, and now you have to justify why did you use a particular tool. That is very important. And that you have to justify by keeping in mind these characteristics. You can say this was the tool which was most appropriate for this age group. The reliability was high and the validity was high as compared to the others. And that is why this particular tool was used. My dear friends, in many of the researches I have found, they do not write the rationale. They do not write why they have used this particular tool. No, from the manual, you have to collect some information, because manual sometimes is of 20 pages, 10 pages, 15 pages, but information will be given in the manual. From there, you have to take the information. That's perfectly correct, Vijayalakshmi. All right. So depending upon this information which you have given, and then you have to justify why did you select this particular variable, so that you can write. And once you write that you have selected this variable, then you have selected this tool, not variable, this tool, then you have to now write the detail of that particular tool. And what are the details that you will be writing is, you have already given the name of the tool, you have already given the name of the developer, you have already given the age, you have already given the reliability and validity. But these things you have to report once again. And how will you report it like that? That you will say that for assessing stress, this tool was selected and used. Okay. Then you have to give what was the definition given in the manual by the person. So you have to quote the definition, because definition will help you at the time of writing the discussion. So therefore, you have to give the definition which is given in the manual, whatever. Then you have to write, are there some dimensions? Then you have to write the dimensions, name of dimensions, or you have name of components, whatever you want, that you should write. Then you should write the, you should also, okay, first of all, you should write the name of the tool that you have selected and the name of the developer, that is given in this particular table. So that's not a problem. So you can always take it, these information from your this one. Then components. Then what was the age for which that tool is meant? Then you have to talk about that total items. How many items are there in that particular tool? And if there are different components, then try to give the items component wise. That total items are 50, and out of this, so many belong to this dimension, so many belong to this dimension, etc. That you have to give. Then you should talk about is there any time limit? And if there was no time limit, then you say no time limit was there. Then you have to give the scoring, how the scoring has to be done. And then you have to give the reliability coefficient and the validity coefficients. Now, this particular, the caption which you have to write, this paragraph, majority of the information you will get from the manual. So therefore, you must have the manual of the tool. But if you have developed your tool, then you have to give the details of that. Or if you have standardized your tool, then you should write a separate chapter after the methodology chapter. You can say that for this, the tool was standardized by the investigator and the information is given in chapter number 4. Then you have to write a separate chapter, and that is quite in detail. So like this, you can give your tool informations. Now, once you have given the tool information, then if you have conducted the experimental study, then it is 3.4.0. You have to write the experimental design. Experimental design. And under this, you have to write, let me take it on the next page. You have to write the name of the design, you have to write the name of the design, and those people who belong to sociology, who belong to psychology, management, education, etc., they know the designs of different type. So you know the name of the design, then you have to give the layout, and then you have to name the treatment, name of treatment. And then you have to tell the duration of the treatment. And then you have to tell about the methods of controlling intervening variable. You cannot control all variables, all intervening variables. It's very difficult to control all. So whatever the intervening variables that you have controlled and how have you controlled, that you should mention. And after that, you should write the assessment of dependent variable. And this particular portion has to be given in sufficient detail so that if another researcher is interested in replicating your research, then he can follow the same design exactly in the same sequence. But this particular one may be an optional steps, because in survey research, you do not have anything like an experimental design. So wherever you are not having the experimental design, then do not bother about it. Now next will be 3.5.0. Sometime it may not be. I'm sorry. What am I think, it's all right. Okay, all right. So therefore, then it is 3.5.0 will be procedure. Or this I should have written capital. What is the question coming in? Let us see. Sir, if it is survey, like descriptive survey, what do we write? You need not to write under experimental design anything. You have to write about the sample, and you have to write about the tool that you are using for the descriptive survey. But in the descriptive survey, there will be no experimental design. You will not. So this all has to be capital, my dear friend. So it is experimental is capital, and the design is also capital. And that is why I have made it a red, because it is only in experiment, not in descriptive survey, not in correlational survey, not in case study, nothing like that. Then 3.5.0 is procedure of data collection. Now this, you have to write exactly in the same sequence which you followed at the time of collection of the data. Because if somebody wants to replicate your research, then he also has to follow the same procedure of data collection. If he deviates from the procedure of the data collection which you have used, then it is difficult to compare the findings of the two researches. So that's a very important thing. So you have to write it in the sufficient detail. Okay. And once you have written that, then 3.6.0 is your data analysis. Now here in the data analysis, I have seen many of the researchers, they write the formula. Please, you have not to write the formula. Absolutely no. You just have to write the data were analyzed with the help of this techniques. You have to just write the name of the statistical technique, nothing else. If you have analyzed your qualitative data with the help of content analysis, then you have just to say that content analysis was used for analyzing the data. That's all, not more than that. You have not to write what is a content analysis, etc. No, because this is not the book. So this completes your chapter number 3. Now, once you have completed chapter number 3, then we go to chapter 4. And this chapter 4, many a times it is found is quite weak. Sir, is it survey like this? Achha, what are the points we have to mention in the procedure? In the procedure, my dear friend, you have to mention that in which, if you have collected the data from the field, then how have you collected from the field? So how did you decide that you have to collect the data from here? Okay, so you say, I went there, took the permission, then like this, I went and I talked to the people from whom the data were to be collected. You explain the procedure and things of that variety. Everything you have to write there. Now then, the chapter number 4 will be results and interpretation. This chapter I have found is quite weak. And if you write a weak chapter, my dear friend, the quality of your research is weak. Okay. And I have, when I evaluated lot of PhD theses, in 90%, 99% of the cases, I requested the candidate to revise the thesis. And I have given the request for the revision because the methodology chapter was weak. Because the first chapter, the rationale was weak and the theoretical background was not given. Then the result and interpretation chapter was weak. And then the candidate did not write the discussion. Like this, my dear friends, is a very, very important thing. So you have to be very careful when you are writing the results and interpretation. So it is 4.1.0 will be introduction. And in the introduction, what you write is the methodology followed in this study has been given in detail in the previous chapter. In the present chapter, the results and their interpretation are given in the following captions. Are given objective wise in the following captions. Are given objective wise in the following captions. Now, dear friends, your 4.2.0, this caption will be from your objective. Whatever the first objective was, so you have to write this particular from that particular, keeping that objective in the mind. Let me, here I'm now taking just one example, and the example is that suppose I have compared my objective was the first objective was, I have to write in the past tense, was to compare mean scores of stress of male and female students. Now, if this was my objective, then dear friends, here I have to write the caption, and caption will be gender-wise comparison of, and this heading has to be broken so that it looks like to be heading, it is different. Gender-wise comparison of mean scores of stress of students. Now, this is the caption heading which you have taken from this particular objective. Then you have to write that the data were analyzed with the help of t-test and the results are given in table 4.1. This is your fourth chapter and this is the first table. So here you have to write this and then you write a table 4.1 and you have to insert the table here. And I can insert the table. Here I say gender. Then I say mean. Then I say SD. Then I say N. And then I say T value. And T has to be small, my dear friend. You cannot make it a capital. Now I can add one more here. I will tell you why I am adding this. So whatever the data that you have got, now you know male, then you know females. Or you can say male and female. Now you have to give the mean of the stress score here, and you have to give the mean of the stress score here, SD here, SD here, N here, N here, and the T value here. Okay, now this your T value, either it is significant or it is not significant. And if this T value is not significant, then you need not to have this particular column. But if your this T value, suppose if I have 4.69, and suppose this is significant, then here I have to write remark. And then I have to say P is less than 0.01. If it is significant at 0.01 level, then you have to write, and P has to be small. Because when you do like this, it becomes capital. So you have to once again change it. How to? In SPSS, there is no technique, no option to analyze the data with the help of Z. Z test and T test will give you the same result. So there was a time when people used to do analysis with hand. Then they were doing it. But now, because all of them are having a large size of the sample, they don't have a small size of the sample. So therefore, there is nothing like Z. So Om Prakash Sharma, Z nahi hota hai. Now it is only you use a T test. Okay. And it's for the last sample. Okay. So therefore, if that is the one, now, if you do not want to write remark, if suppose you do not want to write this, if you do not want to write this, then what you have to do here, you have to put a double star, and below this, you have to put double star, and then you have to say significant at 0.01 level. So either you indicate like this, or if you do not want to put a double star, then you can indicate whatever the earlier I said, that you can say a remark and then you can say, but you should not give both. And now here you have to give the interpretation. And I know all of you know how to interpret your T value, if it is significant, or how to interpret correlation, or how to interpret any other one. So that's what you should try to understand. So if you want me to interpret, I can interpret, no problem at all, but I don't have the data. Okay. Now, this is how you then write 4.3.0, whatever is your one. Okay. Whatever you want to write, because you have many objectives. So for each objective, you have to have separate. And at the end, if it is 4.6.0, this is the last, then you can write here findings. And then you can say the following. The following were the findings of this study. And then you can give your first finding, then you can give your second, you can give your third, whatever is the findings that you are having. With this, your chapter number 4 will be over. Now you have to write your chapter number 5. So your chapter number 5 is, and my dear friend, this chapter is a very, very important chapter. Although all chapters are important, your results and interpretation chapter is very important, because most of the time this is quite weak. And if you write a weak interpretation, then the quality of the research will be weak. So you have to take care of that. Then next chapter will be your discussion. And I will advise you that at least in PhD, you should write a separate chapter which is titled as discussion, because this chapter will be equally important, because here you are going to give the reasons why you have got such a finding. You will be comparing your findings with the finding of the previous researchers. So those researchers, what was their finding and what is your finding? Whether your finding is in line with the earlier findings or is not in the line of the earlier findings. If it contradicts, then why it contradicts, you have to explain, you have to write arguments. So your 5.1.0 will be introduction. And here in the introduction, my dear friends, you know what you have to write. You have to write that the results and their interpretation are given in the previous chapter. In the previous chapter, the findings arrived at have also been listed. The present chapter is devoted to the discussion of the findings. And now you go to the 5.2.0. Now, if you remember here, I had written this. This was my first objective. Okay. And that first objective, this was the headings which you can write. And here you can say the first objective was to compare mean scores of stress of male and female students. The finding was that male students were found to have significantly higher stress as compared to female students. This will be the one you have to write. Then you say this finding is supported by. Now you have to take the help of the review of related literature. So if you find that there are researches which support your finding, then you have to write that supported by, you have to write the last name of the person along with the year, and then you have to write another. If there are 5 people, you have to write 5 years. And if there are researches whose findings are not the same what you have found, then you can say that this finding was contradicted by the last name. You have to give year, whatever are the people. That's what you have to write here. And then you should say why such a finding you have got. Now that is to be written on the basis of your understanding of the whole research. And if you have not properly understood, then you will find it difficult to write the chapter which is called discussion chapter. Okay, so that is what you have to do. Then you have to go to say 3.0, whatever is that, then 5.4.0, whatever is that, and that completes your chapter on discussion. And after that, then you have to write the last chapter. The last chapter is the 6th chapter, and that you will be titled as summary. And take it on the next page. Then we have to write at summary, comma, findings, and implication. My dear friends, many of the theses do not have implications. What they normally write is suggestion for further research. Well, that's all right. Do you think on the basis of one particular research, can the person become so competent that he can suggest the problem for the future researches? From my point of view, I do not find that the student becomes so competent that he should suggest the problem for the future research. What I have found, they will be changing the variable, or sometimes they will just be changing the population, and they will write such and such research can be undertaken. I don't find that is very useful. But you must write that if you have done the research and you have got a finding, who are the people who can benefit from your finding? And that when you are writing, that becomes the implication. And that will improve the quality of your research. So if you people are already writing the implication, it is very good. And if you are not writing the implication, then I suggest that you should think of writing the implications. It depends upon, if it is from science, then you know who can benefit from your finding. If you are from social science, you know who can benefit from your findings of the researches. So you have to think of those people, and for them, you should write how your finding can be used by the people or can be implemented by the people. Which caption heading you want? Pani, I have not understood. Caption heading, which caption heading? Can we suggest solution of the problem analyzed in a research? My dear friend, the solution is your finding. Your finding is nothing. It is a solution only. If you think your objective was the question, then your finding is the solution. So that's perfectly correct. What would be the total number of pages? My dear friend, do not bother about the total number of the pages. I cannot tell you. I have already said, I have given the example that one researcher, he wrote the thesis in the 2 volumes. Each, I don't remember the pages of each part, the part 1 and part 2, and that was rejected. And I have seen theses which are of 80 pages, and the quality was very good. So please never ask any person about the pages. Okay? So pages in the thesis for experimental research. No, there is nothing like pages. No problem. No pages. So I don't know what is that table 4.1 you are talking. Okay, table 4.1, let us see what was it. Okay, see, I did not write the interpretation because I do not have the data, and therefore I do not want to cook the data and write and then tell you the interpretation. You know how it has to be interpreted. If you want to know, then you attend another program and you will know the interpretation which you have to write for each and every type of the researches. Okay. Now in this one, it is again introduction. And then you have to say the discussion of findings of this study has been given in the previous chapter. Or you can write slightly differently. You say the details of this study have been given in the previous chapters. In the present chapter, the summary of the study has been given under headings like, now here you have to give the headings. What are the headings? You have to give the rationale. You have written rationale in chapter number 1. Now here, that rationale you have given in detail, but here if you can concise or if you shorten your rationale and write only the most important aspects. Okay, so that has to be done under the rationale. Then you have already written your statement of problem. This chapter is mostly the copy from the earlier chapters. Many a times the researchers do not read the complete thesis. They read the summary chapter and they get all information, whatever they want. If they are interested in the detailed information, then they can refer to the other chapters. So the statement of the problem, then objectives, then hypothesis, then your sample, then your tool. And if it is an experimental study, then experimental design. But if it is not an experimental study, then you need not to write experimental design. Okay, I'm putting it a red by chance. If it is not there, then you can write the sample detail you have given in chapter number 3. But here you have to summarize and give. The tool you have already given in chapter number 3. But here you have to summarize and give. What all information to give, I will tell you. Then the procedure of data collection. Then findings. Okay, and implications. Now what you have to do is, you have to write now the 6.2.0. Now you have to write rationale. And you know this, you can copy from chapter number 1 and you can shorten it, because in chapter number 1, you must have given in the detail. Then 6.3.0 is statement of problem. This you copy from chapter number 1, you have not to change anything. Then 6.4.0 is your objectives. This you have not to shorten. Whatever is in chapter number 1, you can copy and you can paste it here. Hypothesis, whatever in chapter number 1, you can copy and paste, no problem at all. Then it is simple. Now you have given in detail in chapter number 3. Here you have to write about the population. What was the population? Which sampling technique used, which sampling technique used, and then you can say the sample size, and you may write the main characteristics. Main characteristics of members of the sample. So you can write the characteristics. The characteristics of the member of the sample, because the details are already there in chapter number 3, so you need not to bother about it. Then 6.7.0 will be your tool. Now, whatever the tools you have used, you can just give the name of the tool here, then the dimensions, and then the number of the items, and then the mode of the response, and the scoring, and reliability and validity. So you can write, if you have 2 tools, then you can write it in the 2 paragraph. After that, if you have the experimental design, you have given experimental design in detail in chapter number 3. Here you have to just give the name of the design, then name of the treatment, then you have to give the duration of the treatment, and then you have to give the control, which variable did you control, methods of control, and then the dependent variable. That's what you have to do. And if you are not doing an experimental study, don't bother about it. You need not to write this one. Then 6.9.0 will be your procedure of data collection. Procedure of data collection. Now, dear friends, here you have already described the procedure in the chapter number 3. So you can copy from there and you can make small changes so that you can reduce the size. Then it is 6.10.08 findings. These findings you have given in chapter number 4. At the end, you can copy and paste. Nothing. Don't bother about anything because you have not to change anything. And then 6.11.0 will be implication. Now you have to think that you want to write implication for which people. Are you right? If you are from science, are you writing implication for the industrialist, or you are writing implication for the implementers, or you are writing implication for the researchers, or what are the things that you want to write? If it is in the social science, then also you have to think about the implication for whom, who will get the maximum benefit from your findings. So that's what you have to write. And once you complete that, then it finishes. Then sometime people write, give appendix, and in that people give their tool which they have used. If you want to give the tool, you can give, but nothing is to be written. That's fine. And at the end, you have to write your bibliography. So it's not a separate chapter, but it's a heading. Okay, it is a bibliography. So you have to write the bibliography. And this bibliography, you know the difference between the references and bibliography. In bibliography, you know which format do you see to write your, whatever the format that you are using, you have to write according to that. So I'm right now not giving you the different formats, but I think all of you know it, and then you can write. And these formats are in different subjects like science. They know what is the format in which they have to write the bibliography. But this bibliography must include the references plus that material which you have used, which you have read, but not used, not quoted, but you might have been benefited and you want to make a mention of that, you can mention. So that what will be your thesis writing. And the bibliography, you know that if there is a paper written, a paper published in a journal, how do you write that? All of you know it. So therefore, I come to the end. Any question you want to ask before I say bye-bye to you? Check the word. Oh, that is characteristics. Where is that word? You can see it. That's not a problem. Any question which you want to ask here before I say bye-bye to the people? So thank you very much, my dear friends, being the part of this particular webinar, and hope you have benefited more. But there are many important aspects which you might not have understood because you need the theoretical understanding. And of course, we never attempted on that. The other webinars which Dr. P.K. Gupta will be launching, in that we have detail, everything in detail. So that's perfectly correct. We'll do. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Many thanks to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And many thanks to all participants. We will meet again but it will not be same time. We will meet at old time. Okay. Thank you. Many thanks to you.
Thank you.